you can speak. Off you go.
جزاك الله خير أستاذ. السلام عليكم everyone. كيف حالكم؟ هل أنتم بخير؟ نعم لا
نعم نعم
نعم الحمد لله. Okay, good. So أردت أن أتكلم معكم. I wanted to talk to you عن وقتي في. Sorry, before I continue, is there a background noise? Or can you hear me clearly?
No, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, all right, my house is just really loud at the moment, so I just thought you can probably hear the background noise. Okay, that's okay. حسنا. أريد أن أتكلم معكم. I want to talk to you guys عن وقتي في معهد العربيكا, about my time at Arabica Institute. أنتم في المستوى الثالثة. You guys are on level 3. وأنا في المستوى الثامنة, and I am on level 8. وبدأت هنا. I started here قبل عامين, around 2 years ago. والآن أستطيع أن أتكلم هكذا. And now, alhamdulillah, I'm able to talk like this. وأتذكر مرة قال أستاذي, and I remember once my teacher said to me, he said, عندما تحلم في اللغة العربية فأنت تعلم أنك بلغت القمة. That when you dream in Arabic, then you know that you've reached the zenith. Okay, he said that once you've had that first dream in Arabic, you've sort of made it. He didn't say in English you've reached the zenith. That's a bit dramatic, but I don't know what the equivalent as you've made it in Arabic is. But he basically told our class that once you've dreamt in Arabic, you've made it. ولكن لم أحلم بالعربية. I haven't actually dreamt in Arabic. ولكن المبدأ هو, the principle from this, what we learn from this, هو عندما تصبح اللغة العربية طبيعية لك, when the Arabic language becomes natural to you, هذا يدل على شيء جيد. This points to something really, really good. وكان الحلم بالعربية علامة معلمي. The dream in Arabic was my teacher's sign. وإشارتي كان قبل أشهر, and my sign was a few months ago. ونفس المبدأ, and the principle is the same. أنا من باكستان وأعرف كيف أتكلم بالأردو. So I'm from Pakistan and I know how to speak Urdu. وكالعادة كنت أتكلم بالأردوية تكلمت بالأردو. So as usual, I was speaking in Urdu. وعندما أردت أن أتكلم بالأردو تكلمت بالعربية. When I wanted to speak in Urdu, I spoke in Arabic by accident. And this moment for me was like an amazing moment. It wasn't the same as dreaming in Arabic like my teacher had, but this was a few months ago. And it was, you know, at a time I was just trying to like practice I speak Urdu fine, but I was just trying to get it better. I was trying to practice with my mom, and I was trying to speak Urdu, and by accident I kept speaking in Arabic. And that moment I was like, do you know what? This is amazing. And it's not like, I'm going to stop with the Arabic for now, but it's not like my Urdu is getting worse, because I know what was happening. If you've ever had the experience where, you know, you might be, if English isn't your first language, you might be speaking in another language, or you might be speaking in English, sorry, and by accident your mother tongue comes out. That might have happened to some of you guys, or vice versa. You know, it could, you say something in a different language. There's loads of children of immigrants that are here, that are probably here, and they, you know, they speak in half sentences, some English, some Arabic. So I found myself doing this, and this was a few months ago, before I had hit my 2-year mark. And that was my moment where I was like, you know, Arabic is not my mother tongue, but I'm almost speaking as if Arabic is my mother tongue, and it's naturally slipping out. And, you know, like I said, I haven't had the dream in Arabic, but we forget most of our dreams. So I like to think that I've dreamt in Arabic, but I've forgotten it. You know, you wake up, you forget your dreams. So I'm hoping I've had a couple of dreams in Arabic. I just don't remember them. Regardless, you know, I've had some of these moments now, and I remember being in your position, and my teachers would tell me their stories of their moments, like my teacher telling me about his dream. And I thought, can I ever get there? Can I ever get to a point where I feel like I'm one with Arabic? And alhamdulillah, I feel like now I've still got a very, very long way to go. But I feel like Arabica in these past 2 years, I've reached somewhere that I'm proud of. I was in Greece last week, and I was actually meant to tell you this when we had our lesson this Thursday, but I was in Greece last week, and I got a taxi from the airport, and on the way in our taxi we had a Syrian taxi driver. Unfortunately, because there's so many Syrian refugees, there's a sizable community of Syrians in Greece and in Athens specifically, and the whole car journey to the hotel, it was about half an hour away, we were speaking in Arabic. And this was one of my first times where outside of the classroom, I could fully communicate with someone in Arabic. And honestly, it was just another one of those moments where I was like, this is amazing. I don't even know what words to, how to describe this feeling where you can just speak, where you can communicate with someone. And I didn't feel uncomfortable. I told him, I'm still studying. I told the taxi driver, but I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel like this is something out of my league, something out of my reach. I felt like I was, doing what I do best, if I may say so myself, just doing what feels natural to me. Yeah. So inshallah, you guys are going to have these experiences too, if you haven't already. Yeah, and I'll just end on saying, alhamdulillah, Allah has given us such a big blessing because we're able to study Arabic. It's the language of the Quran. It's a language that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke. So if you guys are thinking of moving forward, going on to level 4, then just go with it. This thought, that you have, like, should I move forward? Should I not? Even having that thought of potentially moving forward, that thought is from Allah. And if you're going to deny that thought, then, that's between you and Allah. But any good thought that comes to us is from it's from above, right? And Ustaz Salman has actually spoken to our class quite a bit about this as well. But if your reason for not moving forward is going to be something like, oh, I don't know if I can do it, time commitments, pressure, too much work, it's really important at these moments to remember that anything you've achieved up until now anyways what has it been a result of? It's been a result of Allah, right? It's been a result of Allah guiding you, Allah showing you the way. Nothing you've achieved up until this point has been from your own hands, right? And that's an important reminder that I have to remind myself. Sometimes when we doubt ourselves, we forget, and Ustad has said this to us as well, we forget that by extension we are doubting Allah, because in reality, nothing comes from ourselves. In reality, anything we've attained, anything we've achieved is from Allah, and so Allah will continue giving to us if we ask of Him and if we have that trust. And if you doubt yourself, then you don't know Allah, because you don't know what Allah is going to give to you. And mashallah, props to you guys. You've all come to the end of level 3, so give yourselves a pat on the back, because there's hard work involved in that, but there's also Allah pulling you along the entire way. Right, you are literally just stepping on what Allah has laid out for you. So yeah, I think I'm going to end on that, inshallah. And in regards to showing you a bit of what you're able to do, I'm just going to read you guys a little extract that we've been reading in class. So would you be able to share actually let me get the document open. Hold on. Can I share the screen? Yeah, I can. Okay, so we've been reading this extract about balagha. Balagha is rhetoric, and that's what we've been doing in class. Sorry, I don't have the document open. Give me 1 second. Okay. Can you guys see the screen? Yeah? Okay. So I'll read this extract to you guys and translate as we go along, inshallah. This is just an example of, like I said, some of the things we're reading and what you guys are going to be able to do very soon if you stay with Arabica. So I will begin, inshallah. الفصل الأول. So chapter 1. ما هي البلاغة? What is rhetoric? معنى البلاغة اللغوي, the linguistic meaning of بلاغة. معنى البلاغة اللغوي الوصول والتحقيق is arriving and achieving. تقول, you say, بلغت هدفي, I have reached my goal. إذا وصلت إليه وحققته, if you arrive at it and realize it. والبلاغة أيضا لها معنى اصطلاحي, and balagha also has a technical meaning. فهي مصطلح يطلق على فن صياغة, or it is a technical term. فهي مصطلح, so it's a technical term, يطلق على فن صياغة الكلام, and it's applied to the art of composing speech. ليجذب الانتباه والاهتمام, to draw attention and interest. وليبلغ القلوب ويؤثر في العقول, to reach hearts and affect minds. وليثير الأفكار والمشاعر والعواطف, and to arouse thoughts and feelings and emotions. فالبلاغة فن تطبيقي وتجريبي دقيق مبدأه التصوير. So rhetoric is a precise and practical and experiential art whose principle is imagery. فيمكن للصمت أن يكون بليغاً بالتعبير عن معنى. For it is possible for silence to be eloquent in expressing a meaning. وقد يكون الكلام القصير, and a short statement, أبلغ من الطويل. A short statement can be more eloquent than a long one. وفهم ذلك يتطلب من الطالبين الكثير من الممارسة عبر سنوات حتى يبلغ التحقيق. So وفهم ذلك, and understanding that, يتطلب من الطالبين, it requires from the seekers, الكثير من الممارسة, much practice عبر سنوات, across years, حتى يبلغ التحقيق, until they attain realization. And that is this extract that we have on the boards here. And yeah, we've been reading that in class. And we're also studying balagha. We're also, this extract is not just words, it is truth. Balagha does move hearts, it moves minds. It definitely has moved mine. So yeah, I think I'll end it there, inshallah. If you guys have any questions, then feel free to ask. I don't know if I missed anything that Sad wanted me to cover.
Okay, thanks very much. Do we have any questions before Zaynab shoots off? She's actually currently teaching a lesson now, and her class is doing their test. So while they're doing their test, she's popped in. But if you have any burning questions for Zaynab, please feel free to ask them now.
Ustad, I have a question. Ustad Zaynab, just wanted to ask, when you were doing lower levels like us, how many hours a week or a day, if that's what you were doing every day, were you putting in towards learning Arabic?
Okay, how many hours a day? So it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to answer because, everyone works very differently. Some people are extremely structured with their learning. With me, my timetable was already quite full. And so it really just depended on my timetable. Some days I'd have more free days. Some days I'd have like jam-packed days where I had no time to do Arabic. So I didn't equally spread my time across my week, but that's literally going to depend on everyone's individual timetable. When I had, like, for example, in my summer holidays, I'm at uni. So when I had like my summer holidays where I wasn't at university and I had less things going on in my week, I would do set activities on each day. So for example, on a Monday, I would learn the vocab, or like the day after my lesson, I would like sit down, learn as much vocab as I could. The day after that, I would test myself on that and do the writing homework. The day after that, using the same vocabulary, I would try and have a conversation with my mum. A side note and a tip is anytime you can speak Arabic with someone at home or a partner, and that's why the buddy system is so useful, really, 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 really make use of that opportunity. Try and speak Arabic as much as you can outside of the lesson, even to yourself. I speak to myself so much already, so that wasn't difficult for me. If you don't speak to yourself already, start speaking to yourself and start speaking to yourself in Arabic. But yeah, back to my point. Yeah, I would just split activities across the week, and then I think I probably have like one day where I didn't do Arabic. That's how I would do it. And in terms of time, actual time, if I had like a complete blank canvas and I could choose how long I'd spend, I'd probably spend like half an hour each day. I'd say around half an hour. But again, everyone works differently. It might be slightly different for each person.
Shukran.